We now have the pleasure of having one of our all-time great football coaches come to the stage to talk about his favorite team, the 2004 team. When we were talking about football teams to induct, many people had different thoughts about who should go in next. There's no hesitation for Coach Moran. The 2004 team was his favorite. He's proud of them for great reason. They went to the state finals and lost to a great team. Coach, come on up.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. First of all, I was having a great day. So you guys had to bring up water balloon. That still wakes me up at nights. And the story about the Board of Education. Coach Janikowski sitting over there. He was my kindergarten phys ed teacher in Livonia. Also a great family friend. But he introduced me to the Board of Education in kindergarten at Livonia. Probably should have kept hitting me. They brought up a fact that we've been very fortunate here in football and athletics in general, and that just comes back to one thing, community. So when they asked me, which team do you think should go in next? And it didn't take me long, I just said 2004. And they said, why? And I really couldn't say what I wanted to say, but I will now, because they were probably the least athletic football team we've had here in many years. There was no stars, there was no stats, there was no, give me the ball. There was none of that. There was what I call values and beliefs of a LeRoy community in this team. Period. Getting old. As you look at all our teams and the way they performed, this team shows what our LeRoy community is all about. Family. You look at the word team, and everybody says, well, how do you get good? You get good because you work harder than everybody else. You sacrifice for your team, and you play to the best of your ability. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So as we move forward, and get going here, I want you to think about that, especially this day and age as we move forward, education and sports and athletics, and people sit around and they say, what can I do for my child? The first thing you can do for your child is put them on a team. I don't care what team it is. Second thing you do is you stand back and watch and smile. And the most important thing you do is make sure they're happy. That's what I have a great deal of respect for this team. We've played many big games, won some state championships, lost. But it does come back to one thing, and why I'm so proud of this team. Their values, their beliefs in this community made me very proud to be their coach. Thank you. Thank you for a great team.
My son and grateful co-worker is going to say a few words about his team.
my best to keep my emotions in check higher than coach. I don't know, we'll see how I do here. Get some thank yous out of the way first. First to the Hall of Fame committee. They put a ton of time and effort into this every time they put it on, so thank you very much. Everyone in attendance here today, thank you. Whether you're part of the LeRoy community or traveling in, we really appreciate you being here to show your support. All of our coaches on that 2004 team, I'll touch upon that later, but all great guys, great coaches, taught us a lot. All of our support staff on that team, again, I'm not too many names to mention, and I'd hate to not mention somebody, but the support staff here, for all LeRoy sports, but especially the football team, is unbelievable. As a player, never had to worry about anything, and now as a coach, I feel the same way. You show up, as a player, you show up worrying about playing. As a coach, you show up worrying about coaching. You don't need to worry about anything else with all the support staff we have. It's an honor to have our 2004 football team inducted today, and I was honored to be asked by Coach Moran to speak on behalf of the team. Back in 2004, he probably would have told me to shut up and get back in the huddle, but so today was a nice change of pace, being able to say a few things about this team. Thinking back on that team, to build on what Coach mentioned, what jumped out at me the most was that we were a great team, emphasis on team. We weren't the fastest, biggest, strongest, but we played together, we played hard, we had great leadership on that team, and most importantly, we wanted to win really, really bad. One of the greatest aspects of teams coached by Coach Moran and his staff was they got the most out of us. As mentioned, we weren't the biggest, strongest, or fastest, but we played harder than any team we played, and I firmly believe that. It can often be difficult to get a lot of effort out of teenage boys, a lot of stuff going through your head other than sports, girls, having fun with your buddies, but the effort and the discipline and the desire to win that this coaching staff got out of us can be attributed in large part to the coaches. So thank you, coaches, for always expecting the best out of us. The leaders on our team, they worked harder than anyone else. They were vocal enough when they had to be, but they mostly led by example. We had guys, again, I hesitate to name names, but guys like Drew Fox and Tim Diefenbacher, they held you to a high standard, but they never ostracized you or made you feel lesser than them. They just expected out of you what they expected out of themselves, which was the best at all times. And as we got farther into sectionals and states, our leaders were the ones who provided a sense of calm, focus, and confidence as we continued to win games. Just as integral to our success were those who did not see a ton of playing time. From top to bottom, our team was full of contributors. Even if some guys didn't see action on Friday night, their roles on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's what allowed us to be successful. And I honestly mean that. Without guys like that, we would have been lucky to go 500. And from top to bottom, we had guys who stepped up throughout the year. Again, I hesitate to name names because I hate to leave people out, but I distinctly remember in guys like Mike Pacer, Phil Nicolay, Matt Forty, in our game at Ralph Wilson Stadium, Bill Stadium, down the stretch. Falconer had a great running back, great team. Guys like those, they stepped up, made big plays down the stretch when we needed to stop. We had guys like Kevin Brady, Boo Hynette, Mark Benetti. They made big plays in the Dome, in the Carrier Dome, against Walton in the state semifinals, which allowed us to get to the state finals. I was thinking back, and I'll pick on Mark. He's a longtime friend of mine. He recovered well in the second half after Coach Moran calmly explained how he should have defended a long pass at the end of the half that resulted in a Walton touchdown. Then we had a bunch of other guys. Again, I could go on and on, but guys like John Zinni, Mike Farabella, Zach Conadorio, Tim Andrews, they were just a constant force on the field. Everybody made some big plays against Calhoun that year, who we did beat, by the way. Again, I could go on for hours, I'll spare everybody of that, but if you found any one of us who was on that team or coached that team, we could go on for a long time with great stories and memories. Just to summarize, again, to emphasize, we were a great team. Emphasis on team, no individuals were larger than the team. And we wanted to win really, really bad. I'll embarrass my buddy Drew Fox with one final story. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to be here due to some other obligations until a day or so ago. He probably should be up here talking, but I'll embarrass him with a little story here. So after we beat Falconer at Ralph Wilson Stadium in the Far West Regionals, I was standing next to Drew on the field, and it's hard to put into words, but he was screaming, smiling, crying, laughing, kind of all at once. And standing there next to him, it was like all his hard work and determination and desire to win from the time he was a little kid. All of that was just kind of pouring out in those few minutes after that win. And to me, at least, that reaction kind of epitomized our team and our team's desire to win and just LeRoy football and LeRoy athletics in general. So thank you again to everyone, and congratulations to all the other inductees today.
Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed the program. We will be getting back on schedule, and we will have another induction ceremony the Friday morning of Oatka Fest weekend. We look forward to seeing you for that event too. We hope to have an equally enjoyable and prestigious group to induct. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.